So let's talk about Highlander, which is celebrating its 35th anniversary today. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1986 fantasy action adventure flick Highlander. Released by Canon and Columbia, Canon, Warner internationally, and originally released by Fox in the U.S. Now, of course, the film's under license at Studio Canal. Directed by Russell Mackay, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Based on a story by Gregory Wyan, the film stars Christopher Lambert, Roxanne Hart, Clancy Brown, and Sean Connery. Now, the film chronicles the climax of an ages-old war between immortal warriors, depicted through interwoven past and present-day storylines. Well, it did okay, but didn't do great, though, despite it got mixed response, but it still became a cult classic, though. This film was also best known for its soundtrack featuring songs by Queen and its score by Michael Kamen. So, if you're ready, let's get into the story. In 1985 and later the next year, Connor McLeod is confronted by an old enemy, Iman Faisal, in the parking garage of Madison Square Garden. After a sword duel, McLeod beheads Faisal and experiences the quickening, the result of one immortal killing another. A powerful energy release that affects the immediate surroundings, destroying many cars. After Connor hides his sword in the garage ceiling, various officers of the NYPD detain him for murder, with one officer, Sergeant Garfield, abusing his power, but later released him due to a lack of evidence. Connor's history is revealed through a series of flashbacks. In the Scottish Highlands in 1536, Connor is about to enter his first battle as the Fraser clan is at war with the MacLeod clan. Now, the Frasers are aided by the Kurgan, the last of the Kurgan tribes. In exchange for his right to slay Connor, in battle the Kurgan stabs Connor fatally, but is driven off before he can decapitate him. Connor makes a complete recovery, and both his lover Kate and his cousin Dougal betray and accuse him of witchcraft. The clan wishes to kill him, but his other cousin, Chieftain Angus, forbids this and mercifully exiles him. Banished, he wanders the Highlands, becoming a blacksmith and marrying a woman named Heather MacDonald. Swordsman Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, recently of Spain, but originally Egyptian, who is played by the late great Sean Connery, finds Connor after trafficking his old foe, the Kurgan, to Scotland. He explains that he, Connor, the Kurgan, and others like them were born immortals and are destined to battle each other on holy ground. When only a few are left, they will be drawn to a faraway land for the gathering and battle for the prize, the power of all the immortals through time. MacLeod only wants a quiet life, having a family with Heather. Ramirez reveals that immortals cannot have children and believes they must ensure, pardon me, folks. Evil people like the Kurgan do not win the prize, or else humanity will suffer an eternity of darkness. Ramirez then explains the overriding belief of all immortals: in the end, there can only be one. There can be only one. Well, sorry. I made a mistake again, but bear with me. I'm just reading the story. Where was I? Oh, yes. Ramirez trains MacLeod and they become friends. When Connor asks him if he would take his head if they were the last two immortals, Ramirez avoids the question. One night while Connor's away hunting, the Kurgan finds and duels Ramirez, who warns him McLeod is now ready for him. The ignorant Kurgan decapitates Ramirez and leaves the area, leaving Connor in Heather's home a wreck due to the quickening. Years later, Heather dies of old age, prompting Connor to wander the earth. He marks Heather's grave with his clan's sword and adopts Ramirez's katana sword as his own, a unique weapon made by a Japanese genius in 593 BC. In 1985 is the time of the gathering, and the Kurgan is compelled to come to New York, where Connor now lives as an antique dealer under the alias Russell Nash, working with his confidant Rachel Ellenstein. The director's cut of this reveals Rachel as McLeod's adopted daughter, a child he rescued from Nazis during World War II. I'll explain about that in a little bit, because there were two different versions of this film. Brenda Wyatt, metallurgy expert working. I'm sorry, may have mispronounced that word. Working for the police as a forensic scientist, finds shards of Connor's sword at Fetzel's murder scene, and is puzzled they come from a Japanese sword dated around 600 BC, but made with medieval era methods. Brenda witnesses the Kurgan attack Nash, and the two fight briefly before the police arrive, forcing them to flee. She meets with Nash twice afterward, hoping to learn about the paradoxical sword. Connor likes her, but tells her to leave him alone. Now, Connor reunites with fellow immortal Sunda Castigar, a friend who doesn't wish to fight. After they part ways, the Kurgan duels Castigar, beheading him. Brenda investigates Nash and finds evidence he has lived for centuries, including faking his death every so often and having not lied, I'm misreading. I'm sorry, I'm misreading this. Lived at the same address for over 200 years. On Harris' birthday, Connor lights a candle for her in a Roman Catholic church, as he has done every year. The Kurgan in disguise arrives and confirms that he and Connor are now the last remaining immortals. He also reveals he raped her after killing Ramirez, believing she was the Egyptian's woman, but is delighted to find out she was Connor's. Disgusted by prohibited from fighting on holy ground, Connor leaves. Alright, now for the ending and final act. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers. If you've seen the movie already, continue on after the 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Brenda confronts Connor, who explains his true identity. After spending the night together, they part company due to Connor's immortality, making him sterile and him not wanting to lose somebody else. But the Kurgan finds Brenda and kidnaps her to draw out Connor. So Connor decides it is time to leave the Russell Nash identity, regardless of his survival. He says goodbye to Rachel and confronts the Kurgan at Silvercup Studios in Queens, rescuing Brenda in the process. After a long duel, Connor outfights and decapitates the Kurgan, absorbing his massive power and winning the prize. Connor returns to Scotland with Brenda and reveals that he is now a mortal man who can age and have children. He is also now at one with all living things, able to read the thoughts and feelings of people all around the world. He hopes to encourage cooperation, understanding, and peace among humanity while he hears Ramirez's voice kindly telling him to be patient and it will take time for his generations coming into existence. He tells him to use his beyond imagination power well and not to lose his head. End of story. So, what did I think of Highlander? Well, I've only seen it a few times, including just now, but unlike many times, I saw the actual extended version. let's see. Yeah, in the US, the film originally ran for 111 minutes, while in the UK it was 116 minutes. So henceforth, I saw the version that was released in the UK, which had 5 additional minutes. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, most of the cuts from the US release were sequences involving a specifically European brand of humor, which the distributors thought American audiences would not find funny, such as Connor being repeatedly headbutted by one of his clansmen, the duelist shooing his assistant, and the Kurgan licking the priest's hand. Yeah. But anyway, the cut that the director found most objectionable was the deletion of the scene showing how Connor met Rachel, because he could see no reason for its removal and believed that the relationship between the two was incomprehensible without it. Which that's completely understandable. Anyway, it has been released on video numerous times. Let's see. In 1997, we would actually get, well, just shortly after the film's 10th anniversary, we got the director's cut, which of course contained the international uncut version. So that's good and what have you. Yes, and of course, and you can still find the director's cut on DVD and on Blu-ray as well from Lionsgate. But anyway, I thought it was pretty good. It has its moments in why, but the cast was good. I like Christopher Lambert as Connor McLeod, very good. Sean Connery as Juan, very good. Clancy Brown, who of course way before voicing Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob as the Kurgan, of course after this he would go on to be in Pet Sematary 2. Roxanne Hart as Brenda, very good. But anyway, yeah, it's some pretty good casting and what have you. But anyway, the film still went on to become a cult classic, considering it just made 12 million worldwide. But still, Queen manages to save this film with their rock and rollin' soundtrack. This was still before Freddie Mercury's death. A few years later, the score by Michael Kamen was real good. I'm just gonna say Highlander is just an epic, intensifying flick. So the question is, would I recommend it? I'd say hell yeah, go for it. But I should say what's the international cut of the film? I feel like it's pretty good. I do believe I've seen the original cut before too. So you be the judge. Watch either version, but I think the international cut is not too bad, even though despite what I've said about it. But anyway, yeah, Highlander, it's not too bad. Anyway, the film would go on to become a cult classic and would go on to have various sequels as well as television spin-offs, including a live-action series and an animated series. So, what are your thoughts on Highlander? Please tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Now, I'm not sure if I'll have my next spoiler-free review coming up, but stay tuned and find out. If not, then I humbly apologize. But my next review will be on a great buddy flick, Shanghai Noon. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to check out some of these other vids containing stars from this here movie. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of a Sean Connery flick I did after these two Sean Connery movies. See my review of Entrapment in the upper left-hand corner, or my review of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in the upper right-hand corner. Or, if you'd like to hear more on Clancy Brown, go to the bottom left-hand corner for my review of Pet Sematary 2. Or, if you'd like, go to the right-hand corner, click on the button to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.